Janet Jackson speaking out for the first time since her brother Michael's death. An interview with Harper's Bazaar. She opens about their last time together, also how his children are doing. ABC's Lisa Fletcher has a look at the new details which shed light on an extraordinary relationship. Look at them there, when she was a teeny thing standing up on a stool next to the king of pop. And of course now, she is an icon in her own right.
There was always a powerful bond between Janet Jackson and her brother Michael.
I'd just like to say that to you, Michael is an icon. To us, Michael is family. And he will forever live in all of our hearts.
Jackson says she hasn't watched television or read a newspaper in the 2 months following her brother's sudden death. As a 14-year-old girl, it was Janet's job to take care of her superstar brother. She says, I would shop for him. I washed his clothes and cleaned his room. She says if it was shiny, if it had any kind of bling, he loved it. In fact, for the 25th anniversary of Motown, Michael grabbed his famous sparkly black jacket from his mother's closet. When it came to the shoes, however, Michael never liked to give up a pair, says Jackson. He would wear his shoes all the way down. His penny loafers would have huge holes in the bottom. She recalls joy making the 1995 video Scream with Michael. We had so much fun back then. We would organize our days together, she says. And fondly remembers the last time she saw Michael, just a month before his death, saying the last time we were together, he'd laugh so hard he would just start crying. In 2002, Jackson told Diane Sawyer how important her brothers were to her.
I was close to my brothers growing up, and I missed them a great deal when they would go out on tour.
Binge eating began as a way to cope with the pain. She says, I can be an emotional eater. Of late, I've been doing that, yes. It started when I was very little. My brothers were gone on tour a lot, and I would miss them so much. Jackson says they're getting through this ordeal as a family.
Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine.
She says she is so proud of Michael's children, Blanket, Prince, and especially Paris. People said to me that Michael's daughter speaking really gave them a sense of how he was as a father, in her words. The kids are doing well. They're all with their cousins. That family love will keep them going. For Good Morning America, Lisa Fletcher, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And joining us now is Harper's Bazaar Special Projects Editor Laura Brown.
Good morning.
To see you, Laura. You spent time with her. Did it
I did.
Was it a complete shock to her?
Yes, what was the most poignant part of our conversation was that she kept referring to Michael in the present tense. And she's so polite, she would apologize and she'd say, forgive me, it's just really, really hard to believe he's passed. And that's just so affecting, hearing anybody say that about the loss of a family member, let alone somebody whose loss has been magnified in the public.
Well, of course, we all remember what it is with a sibling to laugh so hard, too. That
I mean, they said they called each other the next day saying, how much fun did we have? And you forget this is a family. They hung out with the family and tormented each other as an older brother and younger sister would.
And we saw Paris speaking so movingly, standing next to her. And I seem to remember that when after she talked to her, just before she reached up to Janet.
Yes.
In that moment.
They really rely on Janet, and Janet has really stepped up to the plate as an aunt, since Michael's passing. She actually saw the kids 2 days before we saw her in Los Angeles. And I think Janet's the cool aunt, to be honest with you. She has a lot of her nieces and nephews are close to her in age, like 20s and 30s. So she said to me, they get tattoos, they call me, you know what I mean? And then she's like, oh, I'll get in trouble for telling you this. So, she is the baby of the family and they rely on her.
So we read in the paper that they're going to be homeschooled now, the 3 children. Surprise you?
Yes, I heard that. I mean, it's a family's choice for them, and I think what Janet said about the children is the family love will keep them going, so I'm sure they're looking to make decisions in the best interest of the children.
And you ask her if she had one more day with him, what'd she do? What did she say?
Janet's fondest memories of Michael are when they were children, and she'd say we'd get up and do a little run around the property and feed the animals, and that's when they were babies. And as a 43-year-old woman, and Michael was turning 51, to have that precious memory of when they were little children, I think is incredibly poignant.
And how does this change her sense of what she wants to do now? Because, of course, the family had, in some ways, revolved around him.
Yeah, I mean, Janet's an icon in her own right, obviously, and work is a total tonic for her. After Michael passed, she actually went back to set to film her new movie, and then she's been back into recording her album, and she has a book going on. So she's been in the public eye for 30 years. So work is a real curative for her.
But dealing with binge eating again now?
She characterizes herself as an emotional eater, and she's going to discuss it in an upcoming book she's doing called True You. And she said this started when she was younger. Her brothers would go on tour, as the piece said. And she said of late she'd been doing that a little bit. But what's so refreshing about her is she's honest about it. And she wants younger women to know that no matter how famous and glorious you are, women can have their own issues, and maybe somebody can relate to her.
All right, well, it's good to see you and
Thank
good
you.
to hear from her. And you can read more of the exclusive interview when the October issue of Harper's Bazaar hits newsstands on September 22nd. And find more of the story, of course, on abcnews.com.